and silent, the cliffs of Arizona guard a strange secret, the fate of a long-lost Indian civilization. In the shallow caves which scar the cliffs, a prehistoric tribe, the Hohokums, made its home hundreds of years ago. For youngsters, the crumbling cliff houses provide a fascinating glimpse of how the Indians lived in ages past. Built of natural rock and adobe mud, the dwellings were often 2 stories high. Protected from attacks by enemy tribes, they prospered in their lofty sanctuary. Indian rock writings called petroglyphs are timeless reminders of a now vanished people. But as surely as the lost tribe left its mark on the cliffs, it also left its imprint on the land. An Indian brave brings his grandchildren to one of the centuries-old irrigation ditches dug by the Hohokums. Defying the ravages of wind, time, and erosion, mile after mile of the carefully planned canals still cut across the desert. Once again is told the story of how the Indians carried out their great project to bring the precious water to their valley. When completed, their system of irrigation contained more than 100 miles of canals. Many of them were 20 miles long. The Indians had only the roughest of tools. Flat stones were their shovels, yet they labored tirelessly. Crude implements like these built a great Indian empire centuries before Columbus discovered America. The tribe was to leave an unmistakable path for the future, a path which was to lead to the fulfillment of their dream of an irrigation network, hundreds of years after their shadows disappeared forever from the valley. With the Indians passing, the area became arid again, a wasteland. Only thorny cacti could survive. The multicolored plant growth remained undisturbed, for it was centuries before man again set foot on the sea of sand, sage, and cacti. Majestically surveying the desert were the saguaro, or giant cactus, often growing to a height of 50 feet. Then man returned. Backing up a lake 25 miles long, the Theodore Roosevelt Dam gave the countryside new life. Dedicated in 1911, it was the first reclamation project completed in the United States. 1,100 feet wide and almost 300 feet high, Roosevelt Dam harnesses the flow of the old Salt River. Billions of gallons of water surge out each year to nourish the parched plains nearby. From the control stations, the irrigation canals crisscross the countryside, many of them following the paths laid by the Indians in the prehistoric past. Water flowing over the land, fanning out across the face of a vast Arizona valley. Thousands of acres of once barren soil now producing a fortune in fruits and vegetables. With the tools and materials of the machine age, man transformed a desert waste into a land of productivity. The miracle envisaged by the Indians 1,000 years ago has come true. Indians work in the fields today as their ancestors hoped they would. A Navajo mother, her papoose by her side, helps harvest a crop of carrots. The carrots are only one of the many vegetables which thrive in the water-reclaimed soil. Carrots by the millions, where there was once but grains of sand. And beside one of the irrigation canals sprawls a date farm. Growing in great clusters, the giant dates can be eaten right off the tree. Along the banks of another of the ditches which follow the ancient Indians' plan are lush citrus groves. The trees are heavily laden with lemons, oranges, and grapefruit, their roots drawing life from an ever-flowing stream. The groves and the fields are a living tribute to the Hohokums, who foresaw in the flow of time a land of plenty. Out of a wilderness, two civilizations, 1,000 years apart, have carved a fertile valley, rich in bounty, ageless in beauty.